move to talk about hearing loss. Have you ever experienced hearing loss, or anyone in your family experienced hearing loss?
I'm very lucky. I've never personally experienced hearing loss, although occasionally I get eustachian tube dysfunction, so everything gets a bit dull, and you do suddenly realise when it clears quite how much difference it's made to your world when you can't hear the small things. Now, I've never been in a position where I couldn't hear the big things either, but when you can't hear the small things and it goes because your cold has gone, gosh, it does make me realise. But perhaps the biggest change has been my dad. He's 96. He lives in a self-contained flat inside a care home, and his hearing is not great. He was a soldier all his life,
Okay.
and he worked in the Gunners, the Royal Artillery. Well, the clue is in the name,
Indeed.
the Gunners. They've all lost their hearing, and he has hearing aids, but he's got arthritis and it's got a little bit harder. He can't replace the batteries very easily, so that's been a challenge. And he's not great, funnily enough, with technology. So although we got him as soon as lockdown happened, in fact, we'd done it before lockdown. The last weekend, we knew that things were likely to go bad, and we'd taken him a fully set up iPad so that it had everything on it, so that he could just click yes for Zoom, and we could have calls where we could see him and he could see us. The problem is that he never quite got to grips with the technology, so our Zoom calls were always with the top of his forehead. And then something went wrong with the iPad, and of course he couldn't work out how to get it going, so we were back to relying on phones again. Thank goodness he has got the technology to connect to his phone, and without that I don't know what I would have done, because I was so worried about him. When lockdown happened, because he was in a flat in the care home, they were so careful to keep him safe, but that did mean at one point that basically he was locked in his flat for 8 weeks, not allowed to go out at all, with someone knocking at the door, putting his food down and waiting for him and going away before he went to the door. So he was completely on his own. And for him, having a phone that connected to his hearing aid has meant that we could still stay in touch, and that even though the Zoom didn't work that well and he couldn't see us, so couldn't lip read in the same way, he was able to hear us. And my dad's not one given for emotions. He's a real stiff upper lip army gentleman, but even he's admitted how much difference it made.